Welcome back to the Ball and Live podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about all the NBA series. The playoffs are going on right now. We have some very good series happening. So we're going to be going through each one of them, giving our most disappointing and surprising teams and players as well. So let's get right into it. Without further ado, do we want to start off with the West?
Yeah,
Sure.
we can start West East.
All right, Western Conference. Let's just start off with the 1-8, Phoenix versus New Orleans. So big news in this series. Obviously, we didn't talk about it because we didn't record after our predictions. But Devin Booker out for the series. The Suns are up 2-1. They just won last night. Great game by Chris Paul to close out the game. And they're up 2-1. They still won in New Orleans. What are y'all's takeaways from this series?
Um, I think Phoenix will still close this one out. But they better hope and pray that Devin Booker's hamstring will be all right for the next series against either Dallas or Utah. Because they will need him in a grueling series against either of those teams. Because this Phoenix team, they're very sound. Like even without Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and obviously Chris Paul and Campaign, Crowder. Ayton was just feasting yesterday. But they need Devin Booker. They need their go-to scorer. They need their go-to guy to go get a clutch bucket, and that's him. They can get by New Orleans. I think they will in 5 games. That's what my original prediction was anyways. But they better hope and pray that Devin Booker comes back. And throughout the rest of the series, I expect a Chris Paul masterpiece in game 4 and 5. I expect an absolute showing. He should have at least 15 assists a game, and probably 20 points a game too. So,
All right, for this series, I have a take that nobody agrees with, and I don't care if nobody agrees with it. The Suns without Booker, I think Nola beats them in 7. I think that they won't have the score they need because normally if Booker goes out, CP3 just feeds Ayton and Ayton goes crazy. But Nola runs 2 bigs. So that's not going to happen. He had a really great game last game. So it's going to be all on CP3. And I don't think that CP3 is going to have to do all the scoring. Obviously, you got Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, but they're not going to be guys who are going to get you more than 15 points per game. And they're not going to both do 15 points per game. They both do like one will do 10, one will do like 13. So they're not going to have the scoring to outscore CJ and Ingram and even Jonas. Jonas is doing good. Devontae Graham surprised not a lot of people. He surprised everybody last game. He played pretty well. But yeah, I got Nola in 7.
I don't know. I feel like although Devin Booker's out, the Suns are still the number 1 seed for a reason. I think they're 6-2 or something like without Devin Booker this season. So I think against the 8 seed Pelicans, a lot of that team's
they're 8-6. They're 8-6.
Yeah, they're not
8-6, 8-6. My bad. So obviously far better with him, but still against the 8 seed, a bit inexperienced with New Orleans. I think they should be able to get past them. And a pretty good game last night where the Suns just barely beat the Pelicans by 3. I think that they'll end up pulling out of the series, and I'll say 6, maybe it goes to 7, but I feel like they should get out of that. It'll be interesting next series though, when Devin Booker comes back against the Mavericks, because they're tied with the Jazz right now, 2-2. So I don't know. It could be against the Mavericks or the Jazz, but they may have a bit of trouble if Devin Booker isn't, fully healthy. They may try to rush him to get back, but who knows? I think the Suns should easily be able to pull out in the series, but I wouldn't sleep on the Pelicans.
I want to make a quick point before we continue. I with David's take about New Orleans winning in 7 games. New Orleans is good. And the reason why I think Ayton kind of ate yesterday was because Jackson Hayes got thrown out of the game.
Yeah. So they couldn't play that 2 big lineup.
But even still, I think Chris Paul can attack New Orleans. Herb Jones is the only guy he's sort of somewhat struggled against. But if he gets Alvarado, he gets Brandon Ingram, he gets CJ McCollum on him. He was just eating yesterday. And I know we call Chris Paul the point god, but guess what? He can also score the ball if he wants to as well. So I mean, I think they get the job done, but like, I don't agree with your take about how they don't have a scorer. Chris Paul can be a scorer at times.
He
I
can
think
be, but I don't think he will be able to for many games. He'll
No,
get like
but he
that's
just
why
he
that's
just
why I think the Suns will win another game.
I don't
he
think
just
I don't think he has to though. Like
Yeah.
when you're saying that, like I'm not a you guys know I'm not a Chris Paul fan, but I'm not an idiot as well. Like I still think that he is good enough to lead this team to winning this series against the Pelicans. Like
No, he
I know
definitely is, but
I
I don't.
know
I just have a feeling the Nuggets will win.
yeah, that's fine. I would be shocked if New Orleans wins more than one game more. Like I think this is going max 6. Um and I really think that like last game, first of all, for New Orleans, 3 people need to get their ass beat. Jackson Hayes, I don't know what he was thinking. Just
Yeah, that was
randomly,
absolutely retarded.
this guy has anger issues. We've seen it. Like I saw it even since he got into the league.
Yep.
He didn't make the rookie sophomore game, and he started going off on Twitter and shit. Like, bro, he needs his head figured out. Jonas Valanciunas, who I'm a big fan of, was getting
Yeah, he
dominated
was
by
disappointing.
Peyton. And at the end, I don't know what Larry Nance was thinking, shooting 3 threes back to back to back.
That
You're
was
bailing
retarded
out the
as well.
defense. Um, that game, which the Suns won, game 3, sorry. They shot 15% from 3. They shot less free throws. They got out rebounded, and they still won that game. So they like they literally did so many things wrong, and they still won the game. Like Mikal Bridges had a good game, but Cam Johnson off the bench, or Cam Johnson, who's usually is off the bench, only had 8 points. Landry Shamet, after that dunk and one, only had 2 more points, and then Cam Payne had 3 more points. Jay
it, wa-
Crowder had 10.
I also
it
want to
was
say something to that. You're saying that the Suns did a lot of these things bad, but then again, the Pelicans also did a lot of things bad. Like you said, Jackson Hayes got ejected. Jonas was terrible defensively and even offensively. He didn't do anything. They had a lot of turnovers. I think they had like 18 turnovers or something that game. They did a lot of things bad too. And Nance missing those 3 threes. So it goes both ways.
They had 14,
14. Okay.
but I don't think you need Chris Paul to be a scorer because, as we've seen, you can have Cam Johnson go off for 15 to 20 a night if you need to. It just didn't happen. Chris Paul had 28 and 17. He had a really good game. Sorry, that 28 and 14. I'm looking at Aiden's stat line. Aiden had 28 and 17. Chris Paul had 28 and 14. I don't expect 28 and 14 again from Chris Paul, but I think if he gets 22 and 10, I think that's still good enough to win that game. Like, to win a game against the Pelicans. And the Pelicans, like BI had 34 and CJ had 30. So like, unless you're counting on those 2 guys to go off for 30 plus, both of them, like I don't think you're gonna get a game, maybe like 1 or 2 more, where both of these guys have 30 plus. I think you're gonna get a game when one of them has 30, and then the other one has like 25, 26 maybe. And then Devontae Graham, like you said, had a
I
great
don't know why he
game.
didn't get subbed in afterwards. He was probably the best player in the period of time that he played. He got
Yeah,
subbed out and he didn't come back in.
they had to go big because Jackson Hayes got ejected, so
Yeah, I
they were
know.
playing.
um,
But yeah, I think the Suns pull this out in 6 max.
I think so too. Yeah.
All right, 2-7. We have actually it's going on right now. The Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. Grizzlies up 2-1. Just made a late run to come back into this game. It's halftime right now, 56-60.
Desmond Bain is unreal, bro.
Game 2 was wild. Game 3 was wild. Yeah, Desmond Bane is unreal. It was like a game of runs in game 3. Like the Timberwolves were on the run, the Grizzlies
That
were on
was
the run.
nasty. The Grizzlies run to win the game.
Yeah,
They were down. What were they down? 21?
they were
20,
down
like,
by like I
3.
turned I don't know how many exactly, but they were down enough where I turned the game off.
Same. I stopped watching. Then I saw that they were down like 10 and I turned it back on.
And then in the
Today?
No, the other game.
game 3.
2 nights ago.
Oh yeah, game three. Game three, I wasn't watching, but like I saw that Dinwiddie, Brunson obviously
We're
started to get
talking
going.
Grizzlies, not Brunson.
Grizzlies
Wait, y'all
Timberwolves.
talking about the Grizzlies?
Yeah, 2-7.
Oh, my bad. But like, yeah, even still, like that game was crazy. Like I was sitting down and like I was like the Grizzlies are down like 26. I was getting
26.
pissed 'cause
Jeez.
I had the Grizzlies kind of covering 2 on that game. And I just kind of shut off my phone for like a while. And then a minute later, I see they're only down 3. And I'm like, oh, Tyus Jones has hit another 3. And then Josh started to get going. Desmond Bain was
He's
so
so
trashed in the
good, bro.
first 2 games. And all of a sudden, he was just a flamethrower. What is it, 2 days ago? So I don't know.
And tonight too.
For me,
You know
this
who could have had Desmond Bain and traded him?
Celtics.
Yep,
The
the Raptors could have had him as well.
No, the Celtics
What?
took him.
I
The
know the
Celtics
Celtics
took him
took
and
him, but
traded him.
Raptors picked Flynn before Bain.
Oh,
Also true.
yeah.
It was like
Desmond
2
Bain
picks
is
before.
Desmond Bain is just a guy that I don't know how he fell to 30. Like I still to
Was
this
he
day
30 or 31? I don't remember.
he was 30 on the
He
head.
was
He was the
30.
first round
Yeah,
pick.
Flynn was 28th. We could have picked
Um,
Bain.
These are guys that people like. The thing about the draft is that a lot of people like young players because they have the potential, but teams like the Grizzlies like take a swing on these guys who are NBA ready. And Desmond Bain was one of these guys. Like he can, all he had to do because I thought I had him going to like the Mavericks at like 18 or something, and he fell to 30. Um, and if he had gone to the Mavericks, bro, that shooting around Luka would be insane. I don't know.
Jesus.
It took Josh.
Speaking of Desmond Bain, he's 6 of 7 again.
Yeah, I know. He's going crazy.
He's
Yeah.
going
think he's
crazy
like-
again.
Mhm.
But yeah, these
So-
projects, like I don't like when teams that are trying to go contend for a championship take projects. I like it when they take NBA ready players. Shout out to the Grizzlies for being up 2-1. That fourth quarter from the Timberwolves was terrible.
Terrible,
Only
yeah.
12
So
points.
The
bad.
second quarter and the fourth quarter, Suhas, they scored a combined 24 points in 2 quarters.
They scored 12 points in the fourth. Yeah, in both the quarters.
12 in the fourth and 12 in the second. That's pathetic.
Right now, they came out with more energy. Cat saw a bunch of. I mean,
I'm
Cat
pretty
was
sure
getting a bunch of hate.
Cat 100% saw what Shaq and Chuck had to say.
The thing about Cat,
100%.
I'm not. Thing about Cat though, I'll let y'all go.
Yeah.
I don't
Go
like. He obviously saw because I was watching this first quarter of this game that's going on today, and it seemed like Cat was obviously saw like that he had to be more aggressive and shit. He saw all the jokes and stuff, the we in Minnesota now, all that stuff like that. He saw that, right? But the thing
Yeah.
about Cat's aggressiveness is that it was so forced that he kept picking
Yeah.
up offensive fouls and he kept traveling because he tried to. It was like
He
he was
tried to
just
do
trying
too
to
much.
bulldoze the deep. Like it was like, bro, just you got to be smarter.
Let the
Chuck-
game come to you.
Charles Barkley said something. He said Cat was too excited, you know.
He's
'Cause
too
it's
excited
just
today
like-
too.
Yeah, but today he seemed a little bit more relaxed. He's getting to the free throw line, 10
Yeah, that's what's
rebounds
good.
already.
He's
Does
good.
have 5 turnovers, so he's a little bit jittery, but still playing really good. And I think the Timberwolves will win tonight, and they'll force this series to be a best of 3. I still have Memphis in 7 though. John Morant, I feel, is the best player in this series. And he's just gonna find a way to get the Grizzlies to win, regardless of what Minnesota does. So that's just my take. But Minnesota has played really well and better than I thought they would. So I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with literally everything you said, especially with the stuff we're talking about. Cat today, he's looking a lot better, although he does have those turnovers. But yeah, he just needs to let the game come to him. He needs to get to the line like he's
You
doing
have
tonight.
to find that. You have to find the balance between Game 3 and tonight because it's all over the place. Like in Game 3, he had almost more fouls than points, and now he has 5 turnovers. Like you just got to find the balance where you can't
Yeah.
let your emotions control your game. Like that's a scary game.
Yeah, no, he's gotta do something about it. He definitely has to be better.
And speaking of another guy who has to be better, John Morant. 4 points is not going to cut it, bro. I know you impact the game in other ways, but you got to take over at times. And he hasn't had the best series. I don't think. Like in Game 3, he had like 6. I know he had a triple double, but triple doubles are fine. But like we can't criticize Russell Westbrook for having triple doubles and like bad shooting nights and praise John Morant. Like he didn't have a good game, and he hasn't had a good game tonight. Him and Jaren have kind of been as the whole series basically. It's kind of been the Desmond Bain and Dylan Brooks show.
Not even Dylan Brooks though. Dylan Brooks hasn't been that great.
He closed
Just
out the game in game 3.
yeah, I know, but like other than that, he's just been okay. He hasn't even been good.
Hudson, what you got to say, dog?
I mean, this series is really not going the way I expected it to go. Like, not like completely lopsided, but the Grizzlies are up 2-1, and so
Oh, I
far in
think
this game,
you had Grizzlies in 5, didn't you?
I think I did. I probably did something like that.
I can
Grizzlies,
check
yeah.
I can check
It
real
that
quick.
that sounds right though. It's probably either 4 or 5, but I think
Yeah,
it's
you
5.
had him in 5. You had him 5.
And
Shout out to Taylor Jenkins for making the adjustment and starting Xavier Tillman.
Tillman, yeah, he started. That was interesting. Though. I'm surprised. Like, it's an interesting adjustment when you think about it.
They were
Steven Adams has been so impactful for them.
They were putting Steven Adams in every pick and roll. That's why.
That's another thing. But Steven Adams helped them in the rebounding category. He has gotten minutes tonight, so maybe it was just an adjustment to throw Minnesota off.
Steven Adams came off the bench.
Yeah,
Steven Adams, he did come off the bench. However, he has played minutes tonight.
He's played 4 minutes tonight. Yeah.
Was he a DNP in game 3?
He was a DNP in game 3.
Game 3. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
It was probably an adjustment, in my opinion, to throw off Minnesota because you want to have Steven Adams in your rotation regardless.
Oh yeah.
I would like to see DeAnthony Melton get more minutes.
Same.
Yes,
I've been confused why he's not playing that much. He's a good player.
The playoff rotations are also just way shorter. They're just
Yeah, I know, but
DeAnthony
Melton's really good. I don't know why he's not playing that
And
much.
shout out to Tyus Jones has had a quietly.
He has a really nice playoff run so far.
Yeah. Y'all got anything to say about the Timberwolves? I know we talked about Cat, but
I do want to talk about
Looks like
Anthony Edwards is a madman.
Yes, Anthony Edwards is a bad man, but I actually wanted to talk about someone else. Are we just gonna let the slide? Are we just gonna slide by the fact that Patrick Beverly is an absolute menace?
I love Bev. He's so good.
We've seen Beverly go crazy, of course, but the energy he gives to this Minnesota team is just, it's insane. Like we've seen players give energy off, but Patrick Beverly is he's just different, bro. Like he's like game 1. Like I remember watching game 1 and he's doing all the dirty work. Like he's going for loose balls, guarding Ja Morant. He's doing everything to help Minnesota in this series. He's scoring at times. He's facilitating. You know, I'm really happy for Beverly because he found a new home in Minnesota because he didn't get the contract extension he wanted in LA. Good for him. I just wanted to mention that because he is a real difference maker for this Minnesota team. He's arguably, I'd say, their X factor. And if he plays like the menace we think he is, there is a possibility that Minnesota could possibly win this series. I don't think so, but I just wanted to point that out.
yeah, shout out to Bev.
Yeah, I was just gonna add on to what you said, but you talked about the scoring and the playmaking. Like he's been doing it all this series. He hasn't just been that energy guy.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the 3-6 matchup. We have the Warriors and the Nuggets. I think we all had Warriors in 6. It looks like it might be a sweep. They play tomorrow. That'd be game 4 in Denver. Game 3 came down to the wire, but game 1 and 2 were basically, it was not like blowouts, but on game 1, game 2 was basically a blowout. Game 1 was like 14 points, but game 3 was close. Game 4 will be interesting. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this series? Do you think the Warriors are the real deal? Darian still thinks they're frauds.
I think based off the series, and I know that they're not completely just stopping Jokic, like making this, like preventing him to score at all, but Jokic is doing his thing, but still the Warriors are just, they showed everybody that they can be the real deal with that PTSD lineup with Poole, Steph, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. I think this team is going to be legit. I think next series they'll end up playing the 3-6 is going to play the
Grizzlies or the Timberwolves.
That's true. So probably the Grizzlies, and I think either team they should be able to beat and face a team like Phoenix or something in the Western Conference Finals. But I think the Warriors are the real deal.
You guys know that I've thought that the Warriors are the real deal the entire time. I have them in the finals. I have them beating Phoenix, but I don't know, man. Like you guys are talking about how
You
this
haven't beaten
series.
Phoenix?
Yeah, I had them in
I
the
thought
finals.
I thought you had Dallas beating Phoenix.
Oh yeah. I changed it after Booker got hurt. Yeah. I have Dallas beating Phoenix, but like I'm saying, like
Oh, okay.
in general, I have the Warriors just going to the finals. But what was I gonna say? You guys talking about how this series kind of like shows the real deal? I don't think it does because Jokic has literally gotten no help this
No
series.
help, zero help.
Absolutely no help. Like I get it. He hasn't been the greatest either, but he's still been great. Like he's still been really good.
Do you know how much money they're paying Aaron Gordon, bro?
Like it was a big contract. I don't even remember.
It was almost a max, bro. And what he's doing right now is
He had a good
terrible.
game last game. That was it. Other than that, he was garbage.
I'm not even talking about his scoring though. Defensively, he's been terrible.
Defensively, he's terrible.
He's supposed to be their best defender.
Okay, but look, you also got to think that like not like it would have made like a huge difference against the Warriors, but seating wise throughout the whole entire season, they're without two of their best three players. They're for the most of the season they've been without them.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. He's
Yeah, that's
getting
what he's
no
saying.
help.
Yeah.
He's getting no help. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think this series is what shows.
Yo,
the Warriors
wait,
the real
hold
deal.
up. Sorry, there's somebody on the court right now. I think a fan came on the court.
Bro,
that
it's
happened.
always
Bro,
in the
it's
Grizzlies Timberwolves
Bro,
game.
Timberwolves series, bro.
Dude,
He-
it's the chain thing again, bro.
Someone just dragged somebody off the court. Like I don't know what
Bro,
in the
what
world.
are Timberwolves fans? They're
I
so
think
weird.
But
somebody might have tried
happened
to-
in Memphis too, I think.
Oh yeah,
I think
true. It
someone
happened in
tried to
game
glue
one. It
themselves
happened in
to the
game one
court.
in Memphis. It happened against the Clippers with
In the
Timberwolves.
play-in, yeah.
Yeah, and it happens now. And in the game
Bro,
in
what?
Memphis, and it happened twice as well. Somebody chained themselves to the thing, and somebody threw a deck of cards onto the court as well.
Yeah, I don't know what
And
that's
Jaren
about.
Jackson is hurt too. I don't. What in the world just happened?
Some protest or something, but
Yeah, probably.
What are they
It's 'cause
protesting about?
It's like the animal thing, right?
I have no clue, bro.
It's like the Grizzlies or Timberwolves owners. One of
Oh
them.
my
One of the
God.
owners.
I just saw it. My stream is behind.
Yeah, it's
What
the
happened?
weirdest.
I'm
And
not
then they
watching.
just dragged him off the court.
I thought an assistant coach tackled that person. It was security.
Me too. That's what I
he
thought
got
at first
tackled?
too.
Yeah, he just got tackled, bro.
I thought a
Whoever-
coach came out and just
I don't know.
dropped him.
Whoever that clown was, there's no reason for us to give them any airtime. But yeah, shout out to Jordan Poole.
He's godly. He's insane.
I
Jordan Poole has been playing crazy.
I will admit, like I was obviously used to be a Michigan fan, like a big Michigan fan. And I remember Jordan Poole. I did not think he was going to be this good. Like I thought he was going to be okay. I thought he was going to be a sixth man. Like that's what I thought. But man, like he looks like the real deal. I know it's been like 3 games, but he still looks like really, really good. So yeah, shout out to Poole. And with Poole and Curry and Clay on the court at the same time with Draymond facilitating, it's going to be tough to stop them. For sure.
Yeah, I think Golden State, they've kind of established that their lineup of Poole, Thompson, Clay, and Draymond is just really effective. And you know, that's why I had them going to the finals. And Darian laughed at me when I said I had Golden State reaching the finals. I had a feeling that Golden State would come around once they got their core back together, because we've seen this before. Let's be real. We have seen this before. This team is dangerous. And I think they make a trip all the way to the finals, just because of the injuries in the Western Conference and the skepticism of the Memphis Grizzlies. So,
wait, you guys think, all right, a fully healthy Phoenix team or Golden State?
I picked Golden State.
Yeah, I know
think
you.
Golden State.
Oh, you picked Golden State.
Yeah.
I still got Phoenix. I don't know, bro. They've just been the best team in basketball. Like when they're fully healthy, they just have everything that you need to win a championship. They have defenders, they have leaders, they have a really good coach. They have a go-to guy. I'm not gonna say that this guy's a Curry stopper, but Mikal Bridges is giving him some problems. That's all I'm gonna say. So, I hope these two teams meet though. Like I really want to see that. I don't want to see Golden State versus the Mavericks. I think that's going to be a runaway. Or the Jazz. Like who are like I want to see Golden State versus Suns. At the same time, I don't want to see Memphis or Minnesota against Phoenix. Like these two teams, we got to see because I think that's going to be the best series.
I
You guys
think a
have
series that will be better than that will be in the East, but we'll talk about it when we get there.
I was talking about in the West. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about
in
the
West.
best in the West? Okay, yeah. I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, I was talking about in the West. All right, but we're almost done with the West. 4 or 5 matchup. Jazz, almost said Nuggets. Jazz Mavericks, 2-2. Rudy Gobert with the game-winning alley-oop today. What are your thoughts on this series?
All right, I'm gonna just say this. You guys were really quick. I think it was all of you. I don't know if it was Hudson, but both you and Tej really quick to say that then the what's it called? The Mavs didn't do well today or whatever, and that's why they can't beat the Suns even without Booker. Like you guys are saying that they're going to the next round, but this is Luka's first game back, and they not destroyed, but they beat the Jazz 2 times without Luka. So what do you guys expect from this? His first game back, you'll see that Mavericks will blow the Jazz out next game, and I still have them winning the series. I had them in 7, but I don't think it'll be 6.
I don't think beating the Jazz.
That's fair.
I don't think beating the Jazz is an accomplishment. Like I really don't think so.
The Jazz are a hot mess.
The Jazz suck, bro.
They do.
Like I think that, like I would take every team in the West in the playoffs in a series over the Jazz.
I would
I think
not
I would.
take.
I mean, other than New Orleans,
I'm
and
taking New Orleans over the Jazz.
possibly
I'm not taking the
Minnesota.
Wolves. I'm not taking the Wolves.
I gotta take the Wolves over the Jazz if I'm taking New Orleans. So.
They're about to beat the Grizzlies.
Bro,
I-
I told you guys. Hold on. I told you guys. What did I tell you guys? During the series of the right when Luka got rolled out, what did I say? I said I don't care. Dallas is still winning this series because that's how trash I think the Jazz are. I think the Jazz are just a dumpster fire. Like that's how bad I think they're.
Now the reason I picked Jazz in 7 is because I thought Luka was going to be out till Game 5, but it clearly looks like they don't need him to win against this team because they've beaten them. They've beaten the Jazz twice without Luka. So
Today was an anomaly. I think that the Mavs just collapsed down the stretch because Luka should have won them this game. And in fact, I think the Mavericks should have won the game because when Donovan Mitchell scored that layup at the end, that
And
should have
won.
been an offensive foul.
And
He
won.
clearly elbowed Dwight Powell in the face. That call will be made in Dallas. It will, and that would have been reversed, but whatever. I think that they'll make
Also-
a change. So
Sure.
I think that Dallas will go back to 5 out, spreading Gobert across the floor, and they're just going to pick them apart. So I still think Dallas wins this easily in 6, maybe 7. I have my prediction saying 7 because I didn't think Luka was going to play until like game
yeah, I
5.
didn't say that.
So, but I think Dallas will win in 6 or 7.
Also, for you saying
mean-
today was an anomaly, I don't think Clarkson will ever do what he did today again.
Yes, I also agree with that.
Or yesterday, not today.
But to play devil's advocate, you can say that Brunson won't have 41 again.
But Luka's back.
But Luka's back. Yeah.
Luka is back, but I'm just saying that Clarkson was kind of asked for the first 2 games. I think you kind of expected a game from him.
Yeah, but I'm saying like he won't do it again. That's my point.
Like 25 off the bench, it's not too surprising for a guy who was just 6th man of the year last season.
I don't know. It felt like more than 25 because he was just getting buckets when you needed them.
That's true. But yeah, I like they can beat the Jazz, but I just don't think that that's an accomplishment. Like I don't like the Mavericks' construction of the roster. I just think that they don't have another game plan apart from give the ball to Luka and just have shooters space out and everyone just stand around. And I don't think that's a recipe for success. And I think against a well-coached team that actually has defenders to throw on Luka, who the fuck does the Jazz have to throw on Luka? Royce O'Neal, like that's their best defender, basically.
2 players.
Yeah,
You gotta throw the double.
it's gonna look a lot different with Mikal Bridges. Hudson, you got anything else to say or no?
I mean, I don't really think so. I think you guys basically said it all. My prediction still stands as of right now. It's tied 2-2, but I think wait, who'd I have? I had Utah in 7. I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, based off of how the Mavericks played without Luca, I know it was his first game back, but game 5, game 6, they could even finish this in the next 2. If not, I think that they will finish in 7 with Luca finally, having that first game back. I think he'll get him back into it, lead the Mavericks to the second round where they get possibly swept by Phoenix, but you have the rights of saying that you got to the second round at least.
All right, moving on to the East. 1-8 matchup, Heat versus Hawks. I'm gonna go last. I want to see what you guys say about this.
I have Heat in 5, and I think it'll stay that way. The Hawks won 1 game. Wow. And I figured Trae Young was going to win 1 game at least. He wasn't going to let his team get swept. And so what happened in game 3? The Heat will adjust and they'll rebound, win game 4, and just close it out in Miami. Now I will say I am scared a little bit of the Kyle Lowry injury. Kind of worries me if you're a Heat fan, Hudson and Suhas. But if it's not as major as it looks, then I think the Heat will be fine. And they should get some ample amount of rest. We'll see how many days it is, depending on the Philly-Toronto series. But Miami's in good position if they win tomorrow.
Yeah, I still have Heat in 5 as well. I predicted that the Hawks would win 1 game. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I said that they would sweep. I said it was being 5. I might be wrong, but I think that I did. And yeah, Lowry said that he'll be fine. Like he said that he won't miss any time. It was before his MRI, like it was before his scan. I don't know if it was an MRI or what it was, but it was before his scan. So hopefully the results come back good. But he did say that he doesn't expect to miss any time. So I don't think it's as bad as it seems.
Yeah, my prediction was Heat in 4, and it's looking like it's just going to be either Heat in 5. I'm really not too worried. I think honestly, I wouldn't really mind if Lowry sat out, because obviously if he was out, it means that he's getting the extra rest and he'll be 100% at least when he comes back. If
Yeah,
he does play,
I was gonna say the same thing.
if he does play tomorrow or maybe today by the time it's out in game 4, then may mean that he's kind of pushing it a bit. But I really wouldn't mind if he's out, also because, like I said, he'll get the rest, but also because it gives a big chance for Oladipo. Last time he played was obviously in that season ender against the Magic where he had 40. Not saying he's going to have 40 if he plays again, but I think he can be a big impact off the bench. If he shows us that he can actually make some things happen with some minutes in the playoffs, I think Spoelstra can definitely make a rotation change to get him some minutes. But I think it'll end up being Gabe Vincent obviously starting, but I do expect Oladipo to get not a lot, but a decent amount of minutes tomorrow if Lowry decides to sit out, which I think is highly reasonable considering that he didn't even practice today.
I'm just gonna say something. I don't know if you saw the report, Hudson, but he's been getting DNPs because Butler doesn't want to play with him.
That was from what Skip Bayless said.
That's bullshit because
Okay, yeah, that is what Skip Bayless said, but like
no, 5 Reasons already said it was false. So like
yeah,
I'm taking that with
they're close. They're close with 5 Reasons Sports Network is close with the Heat.
So like Skip Bayless doesn't have shit to say. Like, he has no sources. So, you can just take that with a grain of salt. But,
Skip has the Heat winning the finals. You guys know that, right?
Yeah, but like has sources in the organization though.
Huh?
I'm saying just because he predicted the Heat to win the finals doesn't mean like he knows what's going on in the organization.
Oh no, he obviously doesn't. I mean, he's Skip Bayless, but
yeah,
we got y'all winning. So
yeah, shout out to Skip. Hopefully we do win. But yeah, I would say Kyle Lowry tomorrow. Like, if you need Kyle Lowry to beat the fucking 8 seed, then like this team is not as good as I thought it was. Lowry, if Kyle Lowry had not gotten injured, he would have been catching some strays from me because he had a terrible game. I know you want to get your teammates involved, And I say the same thing about Jimmy, but at times you just gotta shoot the ball when you're open, bro. Like all this overpassing shit is not gonna cut it against elite teams. And he tried to do 3 of the same passes and he got 3 turnovers consecutively. I don't know if this was last game or in game 2, but you gotta look for your shot more. We're paying you 30 mil, bro. You can't have you looking like Rajon Rondo paying you 30 mil. Because you can't score. He can score the ball. He's taken over it, but it's been so minimal. Um, yeah, Oladipo. Hopefully he plays. This team is just too deep. I can't imagine that Caleb Martin only got 1 minute. Like Caleb Martin,
He was really good
Morris.
for you guys in the regular season.
I really want to see Caleb get more minutes.
He
to be
has to play.
honest.
He has to play. He has to play. Like I don't care if you have to extend the rotation. Uh, he has to play because he just provides like wing defense off the bench is something we don't have right now. And
He's such a big impact.
and he's like just like a Swiss Army knife. He can shoot the corner three. He can slash. He can defend. Like
He's one of the top perimeter defenders in the NBA, and the Hawks
NBA, yeah.
just have so many perimeter guys like Herter, Gallinari. I mean,
It's literally just been fucking Bogdanovich who turns into Curry down the stretch. Literally doesn't do shit for the whole game. Doesn't do shit for the whole game, but in the fourth quarter somehow just fucking goes off, which is typical. But yeah, like I just sit Lowry tomorrow just for precaution. Like I don't think it's a big deal if he sits.
I'm kind of expecting it.
I had Heat in 4 when we were doing the prediction video, but then I changed it to Heat in 5 because I was like, Trae Young is good enough to win 1 game. So I think my bracket should say Heat in 5. But yeah, I don't know. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll win this game. I think we'll win game 4 and then go back to Miami and win game 5.
I will say though, Suhash, if you guys can't win tomorrow, like that's kind of concerning that Kyle Lowry is a major part of your team. We need him.
Oh, he is. No, I'm not. Listen, Kyle Lowry is obviously a big part, and like he's a big reason why we were the number 1 seed. He's been like an all-star caliber player the whole season, right? But the only thing I'm saying is you just got to look for your shot more when you're open, because we're paying you this much money to shoot the ball. Like we can't. Like I know you want to pass the ball and get your teammates involved, but just at times like this team is not blessed with a Kevin Durant or like a fucking even like a Jason Tatum. You don't have that level of shot creation on your team. Jimmy is good, but as far as guys who can just flat out score the ball, he doesn't have that in his bag like a lot of these top guys do. So you need Kyle. Tyler has done it. He had a great game, 24 off the bench, but you got to have Kyle look for his shot more. And that'll get
though. I do agree with you. Like Kyle was overpassing that game. But after he got hurt, the Heat looked a lot worse. Like a lot.
They did. And that's what happens when Gabe Vincent is in the game. Like Gabe Vincent is good, but he's had a terrible series. I don't know if you've noticed, Hudson. He shot the ball like terribly. So it's a drop off for sure. And that's why I would have liked to see Oladipo in the game instead of Vincent. But Spo is trusting what got him the number 1 seed. And when Kyle was injured in the regular season, Vincent was playing really, really well. So he's going to trust his guys, and hopefully it pays off. But yeah, I still got the Heat of 5. All right, 2-7 matchup. Cages, I'm going to let you go first. Boston Celtics are up 3-0. Game 4 on Monday. Ben Simmons will be back, but he might, I don't know, administration, we'll see. But the Celtics are up 3-0. That's what the story is.
I just got to say, I don't think there's a single person in this entire world that would have saw this coming. Like, we knew the Celtics were good, and we all had the Celtics winning, but we didn't know that the Celtics were going to annihilate the Nets. We didn't know the Celtics were going to literally shut down Kevin Durant. When have we ever said that? Have we ever had the thought that Kevin Durant is going to shoot 30% from the field? We know Kevin Durant to be efficient and score in his spots. And the Celtics defense is just proving why they're the best defense in the entire league. There's no There's no other defense that even comes close. I've never seen another defense in my entire life seeing this amount of physicality stopping Kevin Durant. Jason Tatum has taken on the charge of guarding Kevin Durant. He is taking this personal. He has one-on-one just put him in prison. Like Darian always, we've heard from Darian so many times about how he thinks Tatum is such a shitty defender. Well, clearly not. And he's kind of put the clamps on him in this series. And I think the way Tatum is playing right now, like this is a new version. He's showing emotion. He's just putting everything into winning. And the Celtics are just a well-oiled machine right now. And it doesn't seem like anybody is going to stop them, in my opinion.
Sorry. Continue.
No. I do want to say, though, I'm very happy to see Peyton Pritchard succeed, because earlier in the year he was not in the rotation, and now he's playing significant. He's not playing significant minutes, but he's playing quality minutes off the bench. It's kind of what I wanted to see from him. The better number 11 in this series, in my opinion. The Celtics are going to go to the second round, and it's not even going to be a sweat. But considering the fact that they should have lost game 1, they should have lost game 2, and they possibly should have lost game 3, it did it just shows to the fact that they've executed and the Nets have not. And clearly the individual prowess of KD and Kyrie is not enough to beat the team of the Boston Celtics.
I will say, how you're talking about Darian saying that Tatum's a bad defender. In the regular season, I did say Tatum was a really good defender, but I every single time when you'd say he's an elite or a great defender, I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna put him on that level. But this series, so far, he's been elite. He's been amazing.
He's put the clamps on KD. Like, have we?
Oh yeah.
We've never seen someone block KD's shot. Well, Giannis did it once, but Tatum's done it 3 times in this series in all 3 games. Like, it's just crazy.
Oh, is it on me? Yeah, man. It's crazy. I did not expect the Celtics to be up 3-0. They're just making it difficult for the Nets. And this is why I said numerous times that if I'm the Heat, I want the Nets in the first round and not the Hawks, because I honestly think the Nets are a harder matchup. I mean, easier matchup for like really good teams that have the personnel. Because the Nets, I know. Okay, first of all, KD has been terrible this whole series. Like I'm the biggest KD fan. I gotta say that. And as of April 24th, 2022, he's not the best player in the NBA. And I've seen KD be shut down once before by Tony Allen and the Grizzlies. And this is coming close to that. This is coming close to that. And he's not been good. The Celtics are just throwing everything at him. And
they're being so physical. Like
physical.
The thing what you're seeing is KD, he can get to his spot. Like, we know that the mid-range pull-up is basically like a layup for him. But what they're doing is they have a defender in front of you, a lengthy defender, but then they have someone from the side. They have someone from the back. And his decision-making has just faltered. And now, every single time, even if he gets an open shot, he's hearing footsteps. He thinks Jason Tatum's right behind him. He thinks Jaylen Brown's to the side of him. He hears Al Horford. He's getting frightened. And he's shell-shocked.
Yeah, and the thing that I have to say though is, like, even though KD and Kyrie, apart from game 1, Kyrie has been asked the whole series as well, there is no adjustment from the coach. Like, what is Steve Nash doing? Like, Steve Nash, for as good of a legend, like NBA legend that he is, bro, like, this has been one of the worst coaching jobs I've ever seen. And this shows you how hard it is to coach a team that has superstars. So when people say, oh, Spo had LeBron, you know how hard it is to manage egos and do everything that you need to do. Like, Steve Nash has done a terrible job with the Nets. KD and Kyrie have been trash, but Nash does not help them at all because their team is so reliant on those 2 are creating their own shots And against an elite defense, that can only do so much. So there's no system offensively. There's no adjustments. The rotations suck.
Kyrie's on the record for saying we don't need a coach. So
The rotations suck. There's literally no adjustments. Defensively, they're absolute ass. And this is a 7 seed for a reason. I know they had injuries, but they're not a contender. They were never a contender this season. And that's why they're the 7 seed. I think people I don't know how anyone could pick the Nets in this series. Thank God we all picked the Celtics, but I know I've seen people pick the Nets in this series, and I'm like, how, bro? Like, they're not a good team. They're not a good constructed team. They have 2 superstars, and around them are players that, like Seth Curry was a good acquisition at the deadline. And Patty Mills was a good pickup in free agency, but they have no defenders. Ben Simmons is going to play game 4, but that probably might be his last game of the season and his first game of the season.
Also, I
yeah.
want to say one thing about Ben. If Ben Simmons plays next game and the Nets get eliminated, he'll be the first player in NBA history to be eliminated from the playoffs in 2 consecutive games.
Oh,
Make
that's
history.
funny.
Also, about the Nets and the Celtics, I don't know. The Nets, watching the Nets crumble. I know that they came back kind of at the end of the 4th, but in the 4th, that's when the lead became bigger and bigger. Watching them crumble, that reminded me so much of watching the Clippers in the bubble. Bro, the adjustments were non-existent. Steve Nash is not a good coach. He reminded me so much of Doc Rivers. There was no adjustment at all.
He's just a puppet, bro. He just sits
All he
there
does is
on
sub
the
players in.
sideline and
He has no
nothing.
plays. The plays that they run don't work. They a few of their plays. Their inbound plays are okay. Other than
The
that,
coach,
nothing.
they had a coach, and he's now facing them.
Yeah, I know.
The only types of plays that they run are just ISO with KD and Kyrie. All his plays are just to let Kyrie, KD do their thing. And obviously the Celtics had a better game plan for that.
It's kind of easy to stop ISO because when you have 2 non-shooters on the floor at all times, like the Nets do, you can stop KD and Kyrie's ISO. Because think about it. Bruce Brown, obviously not a shooter. And then Drummond / Claxton, not a shooter either. And Seth Curry's your only other reliable shooter on the floor.
Bruce Brown has been knocking threes down.
That's what the Celtics are doing. They're saying we are going to do everything in our power to stop KD and Kyrie. And you know what? They're saying we think we're playing the numbers. We don't think Bruce Brown could beat us. Same thing with Blake Griffin when he came in the game today. They were saying the Celtics were allowing him to get open looks, and the Celtics were saying it doesn't matter. Blake Griffin is not going to beat us today.
And if I'm the Nets, you see the Celtics doing this to you, it doesn't take a fucking genius to figure out that the Celtics are not the greatest perimeter shooting team in the world either. Well, they don't have the best shooters, so it's not hard. Just do the same thing that they're doing to you back to them. Take out Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and just make the others beat you. But no, Jason Tatum had 39, Brown had 23, and he closed out the game. So it's been baffling. The coaching by Steve Nash is ridiculous. It's crazy.
I want to say one last thing. KD is checked out. He is mentally checked out. And I want to bring the point of the fact that these 2 were playing almost 40 minutes a night to end out the regular season. The regular season. They were playing 40 minutes a night. They were playing back-to-back. I had a feeling that it was going to be wear and tear. They were going to get exhausted. And this series is just proving it. KD looks exhausted. He looks flat out gassed at times. Kyrie, not so much. Obviously, he had the entire season to rest. But even still, man, game 1, the Nets should have won game 1. They should have fair and square beaten the Celtics collapsed in game 1. I was pissed. If Tatum didn't bail them out, the Celtics, this series would be probably 2-1 in favor of the Nets. I'm not even kidding. Other than the fact of today's game, the Celtics should not be a 3-0 at all. But they are because they just out-executed the Nets down the stretch in every single game.
Suhas, does this series remind you a little bit of the Heat Bucks last year? where it's like hella close in just game one, where it came down to that game winner shot, and then the other team just demolishes games 2 through 4.
Yeah, I was, but like the thing is, the Nets had a chance to win all these games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like it was closer. Like it was close in the fourth. The Celtics just pulled away at the very end.
And the difference is that the Nets actually had two of the three best players in the series. Like the
Yes,
Bucks had Giannis,
yeah.
and Giannis is like a completely different level from anyone on the Heat. So like, I know the Nets are like, I don't know, like it's just very frustrating at this point to see KD and Kyrie, two great talents, just fold in the playoffs and not being helped by their coaching. Yeah, the Celtics. Shout out to the Celtics. That's going to be a fun series in the second round. And speaking of that series, that they're probably their likely opponent, the Chicago Bulls versus the Milwaukee Bucks, are playing in this matchup, and the Bucks are up 2-1 after a great performance in Game 3. Chris Middleton is out for the series and probably out for round 2. I don't know the exact timeline, but yeah, man, that's gonna be. I think the Bucks will pull this one out in like 4 or 5 games. I mean, not 4 games, obviously, but I think they'll pull it out in 5 games. I think the Bulls are done.
Yeah. I thought I obviously I thought it was going to be Bucks in 4. I think. Let me see what I had. Yeah, I had Bucks in 4. Oops. Because I thought the Bulls were absolute trash. They didn't have any. They looked lackluster towards the end of the regular season. But I'll give them credit for winning that one game. But credit to the Bucks. They're gonna clean up the rest of the series. But Chris Middleton, that loss of Chris Middleton is going to hurt them a lot.
Yeah, I mean Chris Middleton is going to hurt them, but going against a team like Chicago, I think the Bucks are just on a whole entire different tier than them. And honestly, after game 1, where the Bulls had a big chance to win that game, I just really thought that there's no chance. I think that the Bucks were literally horrible. Giannis had like a game high by far, like 28, and that was like one of the most dominant 28 performances we've ever seen before. And I just feel like after that, where the Bucks shot awful and they still won the game, it just solidified that they were going to be sweeping. DeRozan shot like 20% that game. But game 2, the Bulls came out. They ended up winning that game. The Bucks came back on game 3. Without Middleton for the rest of the series, though, I feel like the Bulls could end up winning another more. But I think the Bucks will end up winning in 6.
Yeah, I completely agree with Hudson. I think the Bucks win here in 6. I think only because Middleton went out. I think that there'll be a game when, like I said this in our predictions. I said that I had Bucks in 5, not in 4, because Levine and DeRozan will have a game where they both go off for like 35, and that still hasn't happened yet, if I'm not mistaken. Like the one game they won, they didn't both go off for 45 or 35. It was just like DeRozan. Levine had an okay night, but I think they'll still have one of those games where they both go off for a lot, and Giannis just can't outscore them by himself. Because I don't think Drew Holiday will do a lot of scoring that either. But yeah, I think they'll win one more, and it'll be Bulls lose in 6.
Well, the Timberwolves are playing so stupid right now. I don't know if you guys are watching the game.
Oh.
They were up by like 15, and they just led another lead. The Grizzlies just came on another run. They've been in the Bulls have been in the bonus for like 8 minutes, and they're just taking jumpers.
Cat just had a crazy and one though. So
all right, and then the last series in the East, Philadelphia 76ers versus Toronto Raptors, 3-1. Toronto won tonight. Or sorry, not tonight, today. And yeah, we are back in Philly, Game 5, with Matisse Thybulle back. I don't know if Scotty's playing. He did not look 100%. I don't know if he's playing, but Matisse is playing, and yeah, and I don't know if Fred's playing either. But yeah, those are the two injury things for the Raptors. But yeah, the Raptors had a good win tonight or today.
Yeah, the Raptors played really well today. Shout out to Scotty Barnes for coming back and playing well. And you know what? David and Darian, well, Darian's not here, but David, I didn't know if he deserved Rookie of the Year, but he did have a very good year, and I was not upset at all that he got the award, because all three of them, or I would say maybe just Mobley and him, deserve the award, regardless of
Whoa, do not disrespect Cade, bro.
Cade did
Cade
not
didn't
deserve
play enough
Rookie of the Year,
games, in
bro.
my
Shut
Yes,
the
opinion.
he did.
fuck up.
Cade was
Shut
the
the fuck up.
bro. Since when did Rookie of the Year become a team award?
It didn't become a team award. Cade was good for half the season. The other half of the
No,
season he was
no, he
inefficient as
wasn't,
fuck.
bro.
He was
Before
inefficient as fuck.
he was averaging 17, 5, and 5 in the first 27 games, bro.
In the first 27 games, and he was also shooting. He was shooting like 34% from the field in those first 27 games.
Yeah, I would expect that when he's like the only fucker who takes shots on his team.
So he's taking like 15 shots per game. He's not taking a lot. He's not like taking like 20.
That's not his fault, though.
I don't care if you're shooting 34% from the
I've
field in
seen
half the
Cade
season.
go toe to toe with Kevin Durant.
Okay,
this
he's gone
whole
toe to toe. That's a single game, but you can't be inconsistent. Scotty was consistent throughout the entire season. He was good throughout the entire season. Mobley was good throughout the entire season, except for when Jared
Bro.
Allen got hurt. His defense impact went down. But other
Cade,
than that, they were consistent the entire season. Cade wasn't.
Scotty and Mobley are blessed to play in good systems with good playmakers around them who can create shots for them. It's literally fucking Cade in Detroit, which is good,
Okay.
which helps him because obviously he takes more shots, but also hurts him because it literally means the defense can just fucking focus on him every fucking possession. He is literally
Anyways,
like when you look at the scouting report on the Pistons, you look at fucking Cade and that's it.
Okay, but that's not my point. My point is for Rookie of the Year. His performances, I don't care if it was because of the defenses having to focus on him.
But you have
He's
to
the
take
first
that into
option.
account. You have to take that into
I
account.
know you have to take it into account, but that's not what you do for Rookie of the
It's-
Year. You don't take
for
you don't say
for the Raptors, you have Fred and you have Siakam who you focus on more than Scotty. So Scotty can just it's easier for you to score not the number one option at
But-
times because you're not focused in on every possession, bro.
you're also forgetting about the fact that Scotty is like joint fifth, fourth option. He's not a top three option. In the regular season, his touches were fourth or fifth.
I know, but that
Cade's were
also
number
but
one.
I'm saying that's
Cade has
also
more opportunities.
but I'm saying that also hurts Cade because he literally defenses
No,
can
I
just
get
throw
what you're saying,
2
but
and 3 players at him and it doesn't matter, bro.
no, I get what you're saying, but
Listen,
I
bro,
think that gets canceled
I
out by
love
the fact
Scotty.
that Scotty is the fifth option.
I'm a huge Scotty fan, as you guys all know, and I love Scotty. And I even if like he didn't like, I didn't say he didn't deserve the award. I'm just saying all three of them deserve the award, and I don't like people excluding Cade from the conversation because he definitely has shown that he has been one of the best rookies, like top three
No,
for
I
sure.
agree. He's shown he's been one of the best, but I don't think he's deserving of Rookie of the
And-
Year like Mobley and Scotty are.
I think he is because he was my pick because I just think that he does literally. I think he's the best leader out of those three. I think he is literally the best. Like he raises a team's floor more than those two. I think if you put those two in Detroit by themselves, I don't think they would have had the seasons that they had because they're not the type of players that Cade is. Because Cade can single-handedly take over a game like that. I have not seen Scotty and Mobley do that because they're benefited playing next to Van Vliet, Darius Garland, guys who take the pressure off of them. Like Cade has been in the spotlight since day one. So that's why he was my pick. And I don't want people to act like Cade just didn't because bro, he's gone so under the radar this whole season. No one's talking about him.
anyways, the Sixers, sadly, to be are gonna win this series in 5 games.
You said 5? You're on crack. Anyways, let me talk about the series because it's my team, of course. So let's take a look. Embiid is hurt. You can tell after every single time he shoots the ball, he shakes his hand. Thaddeus Young blocked the fuck out of Embiid that one time, and it hurt his thumb even more. He went to the bench after that play, but then he subbed back on. So we're taking a look at this. Embiid, he's in pain. His thumb has possible tears in his ligaments. So we don't know how good he'll be playing. You could tell last game he wasn't as aggressive as he normally is. Tobias Harris tweaks his knee. Matisse Thybulle, even back in Philly, he's not getting many minutes because Doc doesn't want to have to make the changes because, Doc can't make changes. He's a coach that makes absolutely no adjustments, and he can't play in Toronto at all. And you also have Doc Rivers, who's the definition of a choker. We all know this. I sent you guys the post earlier. I'll read you the list. 2003, he blew a 3-1 lead. 2009, he blew a 3-2 lead. 2010, he blew a 3-2 lead. 2012, he blew a 3-2 lead. 2015, he blew a 3-1 lead. 2016, blew a 2-0 lead. 2020, he blew a 3-1 lead. Now it's a 3-1 lead again. If any team in any situation can come back from 3-0, it's the Raptors in their situation. If Van Vliet plays, this is the only this is the one situation where any team can come back from 3-0. I think. I don't think the Nets can come back from 3-0 in their situation because the Celtics they're clicking on all cylinders, and nobody's hurt. Everybody's healthy. Their coach is good. Sixers have so many problems going on that I think that Raptors can do it. I
I
got the
mean,
Raptors
as
7.
as a wise man once said, it's not 3-0 anymore, it's 3-1.
Exactly.
And
you guys saw how Nick Nurse was talking about it. It's one game at a time. If we get one game, it's 3-1 now, and 3-1's been done.
Yeah, that's what
And
anyone,
another game is 3-2. 3-2's been done.
that's literally what anyone will say, bro. It's like that's fucking obvious. Like he didn't have to, like, all right. Like I don't know. I thought that was complete like that, like no shit. If you win one game, it becomes 3-1.
I mean, like what do you want Nick Nurse to say though? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
This
That's
series
just
is probably over.
That's just PR talk, bro. Because like like I don't think the Raptors are like this, but I know like in the bubble, we went 3-0 up against the Bucks, and Budenholzer was like, "Oh yeah, we'll take it one game at a time." But when you're like a player, because and like I said, I don't think the Raptors are like this because I think they have like tough-minded players. But when you're a player on like a team that is not the mentally strongest, you're already thinking about going home to your family. Like you're not thinking about like you're mentally checked out because you're down 3-0. So like yeah, Nick Nurse can say it's one game at a time, but I think the Sixers will win the series because they're already up 3-1. I hope the Raptors win. Like I genuinely hope the Raptors win or extend the series to 7 games because I don't want the Sixers. I don't want anyone to get rest for whoever plays the Heat. So I hope this goes to 7, but I can't see it because I don't know what the status on Fred is. To me, Scotty did not look 100%. Like I don't care what anyone says.
No, he
Um,
didn't, but he'll get back to it. I don't know if it won't be next game, but I think the game after that he'll get back to it. Back in Toronto for game
but if
6.
you're assuming Scotty to get back to 100%, you have to assume Embiid will get back closer to 100% too.
No, because Embiid has been said that he has damaged his ligaments in his thumb. Scotty
Yeah,
hasn't Scotty's MRIs came back clear. There was no damage at all. Embiid had an MRI today. They'll
yeah,
decide if
but
he'll
I'm
need
saying
surgery.
Embiid still had 22, 9, and 5. I know free throws like are a big part of that, but he still had a better game than Scotty
He had
did, even
he
though
had 20. Yes, but the thing is, Scotty's impact compared to his normal impact was better than Embiid's impact compared to his normal impact. Because Embiid's impact doesn't come from just the stat line; it's also defensively. He's a huge presence, especially against Siakam, and that's why Siakam went off today. Because Embiid couldn't be as aggressive as he normally is. If you looked at the last few games, Siakam struggled because Embiid was playing very aggressive and he was a good defender against him. But today he couldn't. That's why Siakam went off. Same as the first game, Siakam
well,
went off.
you're getting a defender back in Game 5 if you're the Sixers. So
Yeah, but he's not going to be a defender for Siakam. He'll be a defender for like Fred or Scotty or somebody who's less a paint player.
but I'm saying if Fred is not a factor, then you can help off him, or if he's not playing, which I don't.
No,
Does anyone
I
know?
think he'll definitely play
Is
because
Fred? Is
he didn't look like he was in pain. He was just frustrated. He was just angry. He looked fine. He just left because like he was like, I don't want to make this become pain. You know. I think he'll play, but he might like keep it like he might go easy for first few games or something. I don't know. I think he'll be
Well,
good though.
I think this is a obvious must win for Toronto, but I think this is also a must win for Philly because if you lose Game 5 on your home floor, now you're going back to Toronto, 2 straight losses, down 3-2 without Matisse, and then I would probably take Toronto if it's like at home. Philly's coming off of 2 losses, um, all that stuff. I think Philly will win Game 5. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Toronto wins. But I just think with Fred's situation, it's unclear. I know Joel is not 100%, but he still gave you. The thing about the Sixers is all it takes is one really good game from Harden. Because Harden has been absolute ass this whole series. And if he shows up, then they have a really good chance of winning Game 5. So that's why I think Philly's gonna end it. I hope they don't, but yeah.
Do we want to talk about our surprising teams and disappointing teams?
Oh, did Hudson talk about the Sixers and the Raptors?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's start. Do you want to do players or teams first?
We can do players.
All right.
I'll do. We can start with surprising, and then we'll have the disappointing.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I was about to say, are we gonna do like separate categories for good and bad?
No. So yeah, in terms of surprising, I could be biased and just go ahead and say Jason Tatum, but I'm not. I'm actually going to say Jordan Poole.
Okay,
I
that's a
didn't-
good one.
I did not expect this from Jordan Poole at all. Like I expected him to play well, and I thought Curry would actually take back the starting job, but seems like Curry's going to come off the bench now because of how good Jordan Poole's been. He's played really, really well. He's fit right in, and when the bright lights are on, he doesn't get phased, and he's really surprised me, and he's a major reason why I still think the Warriors are going to make the finals. So, really surprised by Jordan Poole.
I'm really surprised by Jalen Brunson. Like obviously you knew that he's gonna do well since Luka was out, but today when Luka was playing, he played. Or was it today? Yeah, it was today. Sorry, today when Luka played, he played really well as well. But I don't know. I've been really surprised by Jalen Brunson. He's been really great.
This isn't really like a big time guy who's been going crazy, but Tyus Jones has been doing really good this playoff run, and I know that the Grizzlies are kind of losing right now, and they could be tied with the Timberwolves after tonight. But I feel like he's been really nice for the Grizzlies so far in the series, and he's playing really well tonight too. Or Desmond Bane's also another one, to be honest.
That was gonna be my next one if nobody said Desmond Bane.
Yeah, because I literally just saw him shoot the ball. He's made like 8 threes tonight already. He's just been such an effective piece for this Memphis team throughout the season, but just in the playoffs we're talking about, he's been really nice for them.
Jordan Poole was like an obvious one that I was probably gonna say, but I'll say a different guy. I actually have like 2 people who are like role players on their teams, but have been really stepping up. And they actually are playing against each other in this series. I really like what Bojan Bogdanovic and Maxi Kleber have been doing. Both of those guys. Bogdanovic is averaging 25 a game, shooting 41% from 3 and 92% from the free throw line, and 60% from the field. So he's averaging 60, 40, 92, and 25 a game, which is ridiculous. And then Kleber's just knocking down all his threes, his open threes that he's got. He's become a much better shooter, which is why I'm really, really happy for him, because I think in game 2 it was where he got like so many open threes and he kept knocking them down and made them pay. So I'm gonna go with both of them.
And for disappointing player, I think I'll just go ahead and take the obvious one. Kevin Durant has just looked shell-shocked this entire series against the Celtics. And personally, for me, I've just never seen anything like it. You could also say this is sort of like a surprising thing, but like I've just never seen Kevin Durant play like this before. All the time, all these years, we've seen Kevin Durant just shoot over guys. Milwaukee last year, which we thought was a really solid defensive team, still didn't have an answer for him last year. He looks human. Like it's very surprising, and I'm really disappointed in KD. I actually wanted a good series between the Celtics and the Nets. I'm just disappointed by KD. I thought he'd show up more. Instead, just kind of faded to the dust. We'll see what he does in game 4, but I'm just really disappointed.
A player who not necessarily is disappointing, but it's because of the product of his teammates. As Wiggins, Poole is just basically taking all of his shots and touches. I thought Wiggins should have been like a little bit more assertive, and his defense is also kind of slowed down from the regular season. He was a really great defender in the regular season, but like right now he's like kind of meh, like he's not bad, but he's not good. He should be a lot better, like how he was playing in the regular season. And I don't know, I think he should be a little bit more aggressive, at least like take it to the rim more, even though like, he's probably more of a mid-range shooter than he is a slasher, but I feel like he should just be a little bit more aggressive.
Hudson.
For disappointing,
Yes.
I mean, I feel like John Morant this game has been disappointing, but Kevin Durant's throughout the playoffs has been kind of disappointing. Is expected to be obviously one of, if not the best player in the NBA, and supposed to a lot of people lead the Nets to upset the Celtics as the number 7 seed and get to the second round. But so far, obviously, 0-3 in the playoffs as they're on the verge of getting swept. They could get Simmons back, but even so, just Durant has been disappointing. I know he had something like 26, 27 points in game 2, but most of those were from free throws and stuff from the field. He shot like 6 for 25 or something. So just been really disappointing for Nets fans.
I was gonna go with Cat, but he's like had a good bounce back game tonight. So I'm gonna go with Jaren Jackson because like he hasn't done anything this whole series. Like he's shooting terribly.
He did have that one game with like 7 blocks, didn't he?
Yeah, he's averaging 3 blocks a game, which is fine, but he's also getting in a lot of foul trouble. Like he's fouling a lot. Like he's only playing 24 minutes a game, and a lot of that is because like he's averaging 24 minutes a game over the series, and a lot of that is because of foul trouble. And a lot of that is also because he just isn't playing well. Like he's shooting 31% from 3. He's averaging 11 points. He's only shooting 35% from the field. Like those are terrible numbers. He has to
Speaking
get
of
his shit together.
Memphis, I just want to make a quick remark. They're within 2 now.
2, yeah. I'm watching it right now. Yeah, they're within 2. So shout out to the Grizzlies. And then surprising teams.
Yeah, I guess we can do that. In terms of surprising teams, I would say I'm the most surprised. This is interesting for me. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia 76ers. I did not expect the Sixers to I did not expect the Sixers to come out and play this well against the Raptors. I picked the Raptors originally to win this series, but I changed my pick right before. But I just didn't expect them to, I just didn't expect them to, play this well against the Raptors. And they're going to win the series. I'm sorry, David. Like, I'm just plain out putting it. The odds are just too much against the Raptors. But, yeah, I'm really surprised by the 76ers. They look good. Now, I don't know if they can make the Eastern Conference Finals or will they be out in the second round because James Harden hasn't looked as good. But I'm really surprised by them. Maxey, especially, has looked really good.
I'm surprised that Tages didn't say this one, but the Celtics have been very surprising.
I don't want to be biased, but
Nah, they just have been. I had them winning the series, obviously, and I had them winning the next series, but I didn't know they were gonna do it in this fashion. They're up 3-0 against the Nets, completely. Like you said, like obviously Durant looks tired and stuff, but they're completely strapping Durant. Every single time he catches the ball, if he's back to the basket, Tatum pokes the ball out of his hand. He has to go pick it back up, and he has to start his dribble from the top of the key or something. They're getting the ball out of his hand. They're not letting. I don't know if you guys have realized, but they're not letting Durant get the ball to where he needs to shoot it. Like they're not letting him get it to the top of his form, where he just needs to flick his wrist. They're as soon as he lifts his hands to bring the ball upward motion, they're hitting the ball out of his hands. They're just not letting him get shots off. And that's the way you contest Durant. You don't contest Durant trying to put up your hand after he's in his motion. You got to get him to stop from his motion. That's what they've been doing really well. And that's the reason why they've been strapping him up. Their defense has just been incredible. It might be the best defense I'm not going to say ever watched, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, I'm a probably go with, I guess, I mean, the Celtics, like David said, have been really also surprising this postseason, but I'll say the Timberwolves I know some people kind of expected the series to maybe go 6, possibly even 7, but I don't think I've seen one person take the Timberwolves in this series. And now looking like right now, if they can hold this lead, not like they did a couple nights ago, but if they can hold the lead through the fourth quarter here, they're up by like 7 right now, so it's really not that far of a game. But the Grizzlies, if the Timberwolves can win this game, the series will be tied 2-2, and it's really up for grabs if that's the case. So I'm going to give credit to the Timberwolves for kind of taking the Grizzlies to, at the very least, most likely 6 games here.
I'm gonna go with the Golden State Warriors. I did not expect them to be 3-0. I picked the Nuggets in 6. And I expected the Nuggets to put up more of a fight in game 1 and 2. And a lot of that is due to Jordan Poole for the Warriors. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely go with the Golden State Warriors. They're probably gonna sweep the Nuggets, which is something I did not even expect. Also, Hudson, did he see this? Apparently, the NBA found 2 officiating errors in the Heat Hawks game of 2 defensive 3 seconds that were not called on the Hawks, bro.
In what possession? Like on like the last play of the game, or
Like two of the last ones where Okongwu was just standing in the paint.
oh, he was for most of the game, but you just rarely see 3-second calls nowadays. That it's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, today's game, the Celtics, Tice stood in the paint for a good 15 seconds and they didn't call it. So I don't know. refs gotta be consistent on that.
The way 3 seconds works is I'm pretty sure you can stand in the paint if a defender is along with you. There's some rule.
It's if the offensive player is also in the paint, but if the offensive player is in the paint for more than 3 seconds, and they get
It's a violation on them.
Yeah, but for the first like 3 seconds, Drummond was also in there, but after that, he stood in there for a good like 12 seconds alone.
I see. There's the players usually. I don't know if you catch this, David, but they'll like step a foot outside of the paint a little.
No,
bit.
no,
like,
I know. I watched it. They always do that, but Tice didn't do that one play. He was just walking like up and down the paint, like if somebody was about to like start driving or like I don't know. He was just in there for a long ass time, and they didn't call it.
That's a little weird. In terms of disappointing teams, I'll go with the opposite of what Suha said. I'm really disappointed by Denver. I thought Jokic would be a little bit better, and I know he has no help, but I just really thought Jokic would, be better than this. He looked terrible in game 1. Didn't look good in game 2. Got ejected. Game 3, he played well, but it just wasn't enough. I really thought the Nuggets were somehow going to find a way to win 2 games. But Draymond Green has put this man on a leash at times. And I thought Jokic should be better than this. He's the MVP in my mind, but he just hasn't played like it. And I'm just really disappointed by the Nuggets. And Aaron Gordon, was just so trash game 1 and game 2. Will Barton wasn't the scorer that you expected him to be. I just can't feel bad for Jokic in general. Can't wait till this man gets Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. back.
I'm not really disappointed in any team but the Nets, because every team that is doing bad has had the reason to do it bad. Like, it hasn't been because they've just been bad. Like for the Nuggets, it's because Jokic has been alone, right? Nobody else can do well. So like, obviously we didn't expect it to be this bad. We didn't expect it to be 3-0, but we did expect it to be a pretty bad series for them. But for me, yeah, the Nets are the only team that, once again, I think have been extremely disappointing. But then again, it's also at the product of the Celtics' defense. But it still isn't an excuse for them to be playing as bad as they are, especially their 2 stars. Like we said, we were talking about disappointing players. Durant and Kyrie have been more than disappointing. Obviously, Kyrie had the great first game, but then since then, he just, 1, hasn't been aggressive, 2, hasn't been shooting at a good percentage. So Bruce Brown has been their most consistent player this series, and that should not be what's been happening. Hudson?
Yeah, my bad for most disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely by far the Nets. It's got to be the Nets. I mean, like I said, with Kevin Durant being the most disappointing player in the playoffs, the Nets by far. A lot of people obviously expect them to win the series and at least take the series to 6 or 7. Supposed to be by far the best series in the first round and one of the best series in playoff history, but looking like it's going to be sweep, which is just really annoying considering we were all looking forward to a really, really fun series here. And I mean, I just really expected a lot more. Everybody expected a lot more from this team, and it just sucks to see them go out this way, knowing that they have so much talent on that team. But they're going against a really solid team too. But it's just surprising to see this Brooklyn team get swept in the first round after all they've been through this season.
All right, I don't want to say the Nets because 3 of you guys just said the Nets. I'm actually surprised like no one. Oh, David didn't say the Nets.
No, I did.
Oh yeah, you said the Nuggets. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm surprised like no one said this team, but I'm gonna go with the Jazz. Like for them to like be down 2-1. I know they just won today, but for them to like initially be down 2-1 with the Mavericks team that has no Luka Doncic is like crazy. Like those are 2 must-win games. Like you should be 3-0, like 3-1 up right now. Probably even 3-0. There's no excuse for you to be 2-2 and Luka's only played 1 game. This team just needs a complete reset in the offseason. And yeah, they're just a very disappointing team to me. Apart from the Nets, which I think everyone has talked about. So yeah, that is our disappointing and surprising players and teams. And yeah, that's where we're gonna wrap up the video. So leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. We'll see you guys later as always. Peace.